Well, guys, I see maximum of you have joined, so we can start. Can someone please confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, I've shared one picture or one image with you guys here uh, on WhatsApp chat, right? That is showing some ports and the details of ports. What are the ports? Which port we are using for which service? I was expecting this to be clear because the videos which I have shared that had one video where he confirmed the port numbers. So now, looking at this, when you say RDP and this port is same, it raises the concern. This is very basics of networking, which I asked you guys to at least read about it, right? So I have already, still I have shared it. Let me show it to you one more time. So please go through that, read that once, not now, later. So okay, they have given कि कौन सा वाला पोर्ट किस चीज का होता है. HTTP port number 80, HTTPS port number 44, right? Though we are not going to use all of these, but you should know at least these are very famous ports. FTP, FTPS, SMTP, SMTPS, POP, right? All these ports are very well-known ports, and what they do exactly, if you want to know, you can come here and check. For example, HTTP, which protocol it uses. Here it is talking about the protocol also. All this information will be using in our uh, NSG, right? It uses hypertext protocol HTTP, which is for internet, right? I'm not sure if RDP is given here, so you'll understand. Okay, RDP port is not given. So RDP port is 3389. That is the port number of RDP. Right? So every service which you are using, that has a port number assigned to it, right? So please go through this once and check. Now let's come here. So now you guys are not able to access my website using the public IP. Why are you not able to access the website? Because you guys accessing the website, it's an inbound traffic to me. It's an inbound traffic to me. And in my inbound traffic, let me copy the IP address first and we'll check it again. So in my inbound traffic, what have I allowed? I have allowed only RDP. RDP, it's on port 3389. Whenever you access any website, not only my website, not only using IP address or fully qualified domain name like facebook.com or google.com, anything, whichever website you use, the moment you're using a website using browser, it is on port 80 or 443. These are well-known facts, these are well-known ports. So if you're using your browser, it is implied that you're using port 80. Unless you specify something, some other port, you are using port 80. That is for sure. So if you guys are accessing my website like this, and if you're doing this, then you are using port 80. So you are attempting an inbound traffic on my machine on port 80. So is it allowed? Have I allowed anywhere port 80? Do you see?
No.
Right. So if I want you guys to access my website, what I will have to do is I will have to add an inbound rule. I cannot add it from here. This is overview page. I'll have to go to inbound security rules. Click on add. Now source, right? Source में को किसको allow करना है? Now look at this. First rule I'm going to take as my IP. What do you mean by my IP? Which is this IP address? Can anyone guess?
Your IP address.
Yes,
Yes.
it has taken my public IP address. जिस machine पे मैं बैठा हूँ, it has taken that IP address. Now, source port range. Source port क्या होना चाहिए? Source port का मतलब क्या हुआ? From where this request is being generated, what port I'm using. So if I'm using plain browser without typing any port, so it is 80. If I'm using browser and if I put this, now I'm using port 8080. Now I'm using port 500. 5,000. I can use anything, whatever I want here, in this case at least. In RDP also it works, but default one is 3389 for RDP, and default port is 80. If I don't type here anything, it is using port 80. But here, what am I saying? I don't bother kahan se aa raha hai, let it be any port. So I'm putting a star. It will cover everything. It will cover everything. Now, destination. What is the destination? Any. तो any करने से क्या होगा? Whatever is there in under this network security group, सब कुछ cover हो जाएगा. But I don't want that, right? Maybe this network security group I'm going to use and assign to some other machines as well. कहीं और भी कुछ करना है. So I can put a particular IP address. But इस तरह का setup आप कम ही देखते हो, right? You will mostly put any. Why? Because अगर कुछ और लगाना होगा उसके लिए मैं एक अलग से नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप बना लेता हूँ. इफ निक लेवल पे ही अलाउ करना है तो मैं अलग नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप बना लूंगा. इट इज नॉट अ कॉस्ट. ये कुछ कॉस्ट नहीं करता है मुझको. दिस आर जस्ट सेटिंग्स. आई एम नॉट पेइंग एनीथिंग फॉर दिस. एंड नाउ प्रोटोकॉल सर्विस. लुक एट दिस. द मोमेंट यू सेलेक्ट HTTP, ये देखो इसने पोर्ट अपने आप ले लिया. इफ आई हैड इट वाज कस्टम, तो यहाँ पर ऑप्शन था मेरे पास चेंज करने का. द मोमेंट आई से HTTP, व्हाई एम आई सेइंग दिस HTTP? HTTP मतलब वेब ट्रैफिक जो है HTTP पे होता है. दिस इज बेसिक ऑफ नेटवर्किंग. You should at least know this, right? So when I say HTTP, or in our case we will be practicing with RDP and HTTP, and if it is Linux server, SSH, these three will be practicing. और HTTPS for secure website. अगर कोई secure website में host कर रहा हूँ तो उसके लिए HTTPS लगता है. So we'll be mostly dealing with these four. So now let's talk about HTTP. The moment I select HTTP, can you see the destination port range has been selected already. Destination port range का मतलब क्या है कि मेरे मशीन पे कौन सा पोर्ट ओपन करना है. The virtual machine which I have, so port 80, right? यहाँ पर भी by default port 80 आ गया. इसमें everything has covered, and anyone who's trying to access a website using a browser, तो ये port 80 ही हो गया by default. But still, if I want, I can keep it port 80. I can do that. And if I give any other number other than port 80, if I give any other number, we'll see what happens. But first, let's see. Any port, it's okay. Destination port 80. What do I want to do? Do I want to allow or do I want to deny? What is the business case here? I want you guys to allow the internet, right? I want you guys to see my website. So I will put allow. Priority number. What do you think? Is it good enough? By the way, look at this. If it allows you to have one number, look at this. It must be between 100 to 4096. So if I put 4096, will it work?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because the rule which is denying that has 65,000, and obviously 4096 is a smaller number than 65,000. This is the rule which is denying everything. Deny all inbound except for these three. Now I want to say deny all inbound except for these four. So उसका भी नंबर इससे छोटा होना चाहिए. तो जो अलाउड नंबर है उसका हाईएस्ट नंबर भी ले लो, इससे छोटा ही है. नाउ रूल. You can name anything. नाम से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, but it should be meaningful. So you should understand later. Allow my IP address HTTP, or I will say allow my IP address website access. ठीक है. Why am I naming it my IP address? Because as of now I am allowing source IP only my IP address. ठीक है. It's only my IP address I am allowing. I'm not allowing you guys to do it now. ठीक है. It has been done. Refresh. This one is already applied on the NSG, so I don't have to do anything. Now I'll simply go ahead and refresh it and check if it works. May take some time. It takes some time to get applied. Meanwhile, I'll just copy it again. Maybe I'll close this and I'll open the tab again. Let's wait for a minute or so. But ultimately, I will be able to see the website. Okay, now if the website is down at the server level, that's a different story. Okay? This we are talking about the reachability, but my website is working, it will come. Here it is. Can you see? Now, can you guys try to access it again and let me know if you are able to access this? So you should not be able to. Why? Because my rule says only one particular IP is allowed. If the source destination is this, don't only then only it is allowed. So can you guys try and access it?
No, it's not accessible still.
Okay. So let's click here. And now I will change the source from IP to any. Okay. Any port range, any destination, HTTP service, it is allowed. I'm saving. I could have created a new rule also. I can amend this one also. So now, what am I saying here? Allow the website. I should have changed the name here because now it is not only my IP, it is all IPs. Okay, it doesn't allow me to change the name, I guess. I can delete and create one, but name doesn't matter. Just because I'm saying my IP, it doesn't matter. It will only apply my IP. This matters. Source में मैंने क्या select किया, that matters. So port 80. Why port 80? Because it is a website. If it is RDP, then port 3389. This you guys will have to learn. I have shared a link. प्रोटोकॉल इज टीसीपी. अब कौन सा वाला कौन सा प्रोटोकॉल यूज करता है, यू गाइस विल हैव टू लर्न दिस. वैसे यू डोंट हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, इसकी आपको जरूरत नहीं है. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द लॉजिक ऑफ इट. ये आप लोगों को वैसे ही मिल जाता है बिकॉज दीज आर वेरी फेमस पोर्ट्स एंड प्रोटोकॉल. इसलिए आपको मैं बोल रहा हूँ समझ में आना चाहिए. बट द रिक्वेस्ट विच यू विल बी गेटिंग और व्हेन यू एक्चुअली गो एंड वर्क, दोज विल बी कस्टम मेड एप्लीकेशन. उनके कस्टम प्रोटोकॉल और कस्टम पोर्ट्स होते हैं. तो यू आर नॉट इवन एक्सपेक्टेड टू नो द प्रोटोकॉल्स. आपको हमेशा एप्लीकेशन टीम से ही पूछना पड़ता है that how have you designed your application, which protocol and which port number do you want me to assign or do you want me to deny, और ये information आपको definitely वहां से मिलती है. You just should know the logic behind it and how to configure it, right? These are very famous ports. 80, 3389, 22, 53, very famous ports. Hence I am expecting you should know. But when you go to the actual work, ये वैसे भी आपको कभी नहीं आने वाला, ये सब already setup हो चुका होगा. What will you get? That on this machine I am going to install or I am going to host my application. My users from internet, they will be using it. It's a custom made application and I'm using port 6000 and I'm using protocol TCP or UDP. So that information, it's not, you can't even, there's no possibility you will know that information unless the application team or developer team shares it with you. So don't worry if you don't understand, don't know the ports. You should understand the port, you don't have to know all of them. You should understand कि ये इसका क्या मतलब है, source का क्या मतलब है, destination का क्या मतलब है, you should understand. So now we have already applied it. Can you guys try to, don't just refresh it, sometimes it doesn't work. Close this browser and open it again using the same IP.
It's working.
It's working, right? Now, did you understand how the NSG works, guys? Yes, guys. Yes, no, maybe. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Now,
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
clear.
okay. Now I was saying, if I move it slightly, if I change this, source port range. So if I put this, forget the range. I say 5000 and then I save it. And meanwhile, can you please try to RDP to the machine using same IP? Obviously, you don't know the user ID and password. Just see if you get the login ID and password page.
Yes, it's accessible.
It is accessible, right?
Yeah.
Now look at this. Having a public IP itself is a threat, right? Everyone knows कि मेरा website इस पे hosted है, ये है. So now if I want to make it a little bit of secure, what can I do? ये भी करना है. What I can do here is I can change the ports, right? So if I go here and I say source any, but the source port should be 5000 and service HTTPS. Destination port I cannot change. The moment I select HTTP, destination मतलब मेरे machine पे जो port है वो 80 ही रहना है. But what am I saying? Source port should be 5000. ये मैंने custom number दिया है यहाँ पर, ठीक है? I'm giving it and I'm saying allow. Now look at this, how it impacts. I'm still able to access the website. Let's wait for some time. And let's try the same thing in RDP as well. Okay. Source port number, I'll say 5050. Destination any. The moment I select service RDP, the destination port range will be automatically selected. And I say allow and save. What is that destination port, source port? I'm trying to explain that to you. It takes some time, obviously. So what will happen here, guys? If I make these changes, every time when you want to connect, you will have to make sure you give this custom port before your next to your request. Let's say now you are accessing my website. Now you are simply able to access this using the IP address. Now, when I put the custom port, you will have to access my website like this. If I've given 5,000, you'll have to access like this. Then only you will be able to access my website. I mean, when this rule gets applied, this is how you will have to do it. So why do we do it? Because it's very simple. Everyone knows that this is the website, and I don't want anyone else to access my website, right, over the internet. I don't want other people to access. So I'll create a custom port and I'll give it to only those audience जिनको access करवाना है. Not everyone they will not know my custom port. Even if they know my IP address, they won't know the custom port which I have allowed. So this is how you will have to access. Then only you will be able to access my website. If I put a custom port, then only. If I have put any port, then it's okay. You can come, the traffic can come from anywhere. Similarly, RDP, if I'm using this tool, it implies that I'm using port 3389. इस tools पे आते ही service knows that we are using tool 3389. But if I want to use a, a custom made port, so I'll have to put a port here like this. Now I'm not able to access on this port. Why? Because the rule is still not being applied. अभी तक वो इसी को ले रहा है. Right? Once it is applied, then I will be able to take remote only once I used it with this custom port. Is this clear, guys? Any confusion with this one? I understand the ports वगैरह थोड़ा नया होगा आप
No.
लोगों के लिए. Read it a little bit about it. Even if you don't worry about it, let's go ahead with this one. Source port any, destination any. Services is important and source is important. किसको आपको assign करवाना है, right? Do you want everyone to access that? Do you want only your IP address? Do you want some IP address? कोई आपके subnet में से कोई IP address देना है, कोई private range देना है? You want to do that, right? Do you want to give your IP address, your public IP address? Do you have some, or you want to commit from any request? That is completely fine with you, right? So it's up to you. How do you select that? And then priority number, whatever priority number you give, that will play a role. And this is very important. Allow or deny. Deny करने बोला था आपने, allow पे छोड़ दिया, तो it will allow the traffic. It won't deny. Got it, guys? Is it clear till here?
Yes.
Okay, now I am on this machine. I am able to access google.com. Yes. Let's say you got a requirement that you want to uh, block the internet access for all the machines which are there on this subnet. So what will we do? We'll make changes and assign this network security guard to the subnet level. As of now, I have only one machine, तो ये NIC पे लगा या subnet पे लगा, it doesn't matter. But if I had 10 machines, तो मैं हर एक पे जाकर इसको अटैच करने के बजाय क्या करूंगा? See, if I have 100 machines, so and with the same rules, so creating 100 network security group and applying rules on them, it's useless. I can create one and assign this to 100 machines. But better than that, I can have those 100 machines in one subnet and apply this to the subnet level. एक ही बार में मेरा सारा काम हो जाएगा. Got it, guys? Is it clear?
Correct. Yes, yes.
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 So now I want to ब्लॉक द आउटबाउंड ट्रैफिक. तो किसके लिए ब्लॉक करना है मुझको? एक पर्टिकुलर मशीन के लिए आई कैन गिव माई मशीन्स नेम. इस सबनेट में भी अगर मुझको किसी एक के लिए ब्लॉक करना है आई कैन डू दैट. बट आई टोल्ड यू द बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस दे फॉलो इज ऑलवेज एनी. बिकॉज वो सारे मशीन जिसपे इंटरनेट नहीं चाहिए ना, दे विल कीप इट इन वन सबनेट और हमेशा सोर्स को एनी ही सेलेक्ट करेंगे. बट इन सबनेट ऑल्सो इफ यू वांट वन मशीन तो यू कैन डू दिस, कि सिर्फ इस मशीन से ट्रैफिक ब्लॉक करना है, बाकी सारे मशीन इंटरनेट एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. Okay? But
Hmm.
as of now, I want to block internet to all the machines which will be created in this subnet or under this network security group. So I'm saying any. Source port range, any. किसी भी कहीं से भी जा रहा है, ब्लॉक हो जाए. Destination, any. कहीं भी जा रहा है, ब्लॉक हो जाए. Now, what kind of service do I want to block? I want to block HTTP,
HTTP.
which is internet. Right? And I also want to block HTTPS because Google वगैरह की सर्विसेज HTTPS पे भी होती है, HTTP पे होती है,
Hmm.
तो you will not be able to access HTTP, लेकिन HTTPS access हो जाएगा. ठीक है, so you want to.
If we select HTTPS, so it will cover HTTP as well.
No, no, it will not. You'll have to create two rules.
Okay.
Block HTTP वेब ट्रैफिक. और आई एम सेइंग कि चलो यार इसको जो है ना ये करते हैं, HTTPS को रहने देते हैं, इट्स अ सिक्योर वन. HTTP जो है हमेशा सिक्योर होता है, सो लेट इट बी. आई कैन अलाउ दैट. इन HTTP को ब्लॉक करते हैं, HTTPS को रखते हैं, however you want. Okay? As of now, I'm blocking all the traffic, so I will be blocking HTTP and HTTPS both. So, sorry, name की जगह मैंने priority की जगह name लिख दिया. Priority will be can be anything, anything which one is allowing the internet access. Is this which rule is allowing the internet access in this security rules?
Allow internet out.
Second one. Second one.
Yes, second one. So it should be lesser than this. By any chance, इससे कम ही होने वाला अगर we even if we take highest number. So it's done. I want to deny HTTPS as well. I'll come here and select HTTPS. Priority. Sorry, this already has. It's always a good practice in live environment. You will see numbers are they start with 4090 or maybe 100. यहाँ से शुरू करते यहाँ शुरू करते but they decrease it by 10. So if my last rule was 4090, एक 10 का हमेशा गैप रखते हैं for future purpose, कुछ हो जाए कुछ चेंज करना पड़े, right? And this will, okay, deny. The moment I deny, it will change the name, but you can have the name whatever you want. आप deny रख के इसका नाम allow, इसका नाम जो है allow रख सकते हो. Just because I name it as allow,
Hmm.
right? It doesn't matter if this is going to allow. This is still a deny. Where do you see that? Let's see. Once this is created, this is the under action. If it is deny, it is deny. If it is allowed, it is allowed. Just because your name says allowed, it won't allow. Name has allow, but the action is deny. Got it, guys? Yes, yes, no, maybe. Doubts?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now let's wait for some time. Let this rule being applied on that, and we'll see if we are able to access the internet over this. By the way, meanwhile, can you check my website if you guys are able to access the website? If you guys are still able to access my website?
No, it's not accessible now.
It is not. Why? Because you guys are accessing this on port number 80. Why? Where did you say port 80? Nowhere. But if you're coming from web browser, it is implied that you're using port 80. Web browser are configured to port 80. So if you're using web browser, it is you're accessing that on port 80, and port 80. I've not allowed that website on port 80. Got it? Hence, you're not able to do it. You'll have to make some changes and then you can use it. Or then on the web browser, you can type colon and 5000, and that is how you can use a website. But what have I done here? I have allowed it to the internet, and still one as a one security measure, I have taken कि इसका port number मैंने source port change कर दिया. Now only my team or desired people will know how to access this website, and only they will be able to access the website. Right? So let's say if we are still able to use google.com, it's not working. Can you see? चलता होता वो बहुत पहले immediately आ जाता गूगल. It is just doing it. Is it clear, guys, now? How to use inbound rules, how to use outbound rules. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
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 Okay. Which one will be assigned if we have one at NSG level, one at NIC level? I hope that everything is clear to you, right? Look at this. Now internet
Yes.
access has been disabled. Now I cannot access the internet. Right? Now having this one, now if I assign one network security group at the subnet level and I allow everything, internet वगैरह सब कुछ, इसको मैं ऐसे ही रख रहा हूँ, ठीक है, निक पे आई विल कीप दिस नेटवर्क इंटरफेस कार्ड पे, ये एनएसजी मेरा ऐसे ही होगा, आई एम क्रिएटिंग अ न्यू एनएसजी and I will assign it at the subnet level of this machine. Will I be able to access the internet?
No,
Why not?
No. Because it's machine
because
level.
it
It
is
is
already
NIC level.
applied to a NIC level,
Hmm.
It
and
is
we
denied
are
at NIC level.
Yes. वो
yeah, it
अब
is
जब
denied.
उस वाले इस तक जाएगा ही नहीं, उस एनएसजी तक जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी उसको डिनाई करने के लिए. Why? Because यहीं पर डिनाई हो गया, वो यहाँ पर अलाउ
Hmm.
होता तो वो नेक्स्ट सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप पे देखता, राइट?
Correct.
It's like a hierarchy. You're talking to your tech lead. If he approves the leave or denies the leave, then you go to your manager for the next thing. But यहाँ पर if it is denying it, it doesn't even have to go. It's done. It's done. There's no escalation here. If it is approved, then for the next level, it will have to go to the next security group. But in this case, यहाँ पर deny हो रहा है, तो there is no case. But if I allow here, then it will go to the next security group and check whether it is allowed there also or not. Clear? So guys, we have very less time today. I was hoping to show you yesterday's practical. So if you guys are okay, in how many people we have? Okay, so if you guys are okay to extend a little bit, let's say if this session finishes, we might take one more session, not for complete 40 minutes, maybe 10-20 minutes extra. If you guys are okay, then I will start the practical where I will be showing you the routing table again and how to convert that virtual machine to network virtual appliance, etc. So if you are okay, then I'll take this. Otherwise, I will keep it for next week. Up to you.
Ready to extend, sir.
What about others?
Yeah, I am okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine, fine, fine. So before we do that, I
So
have to cover one. Sorry, someone saying something? Okay, so we have 10 minutes left in this session, guys. Let me cover one more topic. And this NS application security group, it is pending. We'll cover this. Then we are done with this. And then next session, I'll take for routing table. And there I'll show you how to convert that server to how to make that server work as a network and how to do the connectivity and routing. And वहां पर हम इसके methods भी use करेंगे then. Hence I had to cover NSG first. Right. So what is application security group, guys? Application security group, I told you, don't go by the name. It is not a parallel service of with network security group. It is a feature of one. It is one of the features of your network security group. Now let me ask some questions to you, and then I'll explain what is ASG. First, let's read it. Application security group. It enables you to group together the servers with similar functions like web servers, like RDP, right? You can reuse your application, you can reuse your security policy at scale without manual maintain of explicit IP address. I'll explain it to you. You cannot create security rules or policy here. ये आपका नेटवर्क सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप नहीं है, यहाँ पर कोई रूल नहीं है, कोई पॉलिसी नहीं है, ठीक है? अंडरस्टैंड दिस, डोंट गो बाय द नेम. Network security group and application security group, these are not two different things, these are not two parallel services. Application security group, it is just a feature of network security group. Okay, but one NIC can have only one application security group. ये अलग से अप्लाई होता है, दो इसका फीचर है बट ये अलग से अप्लाई होता है, ठीक है? सो वन निक can have only one NIC can have multiple application security groups. You can specify only one application security group at the source destination in the security rule. You cannot add NIC from different VNet. Okay, you cannot add different from different VNet as in different region or different VNet as well. अगर दो VNet है तब भी आप इस application security group को utilize नहीं कर सकते हो. VNet A, VNet B, both are in East US. बट अगर आपका application security group VNet A में बना है तो A में ही यूज होगा. It's not about region, it's about the VNet only. सिर्फ उस VNet में use होगा. Now what is it? I'll explain it to you, don't worry. In this case, one NIC can have multiple application security group. NSG में हो सकता है क्या multiple network security group, guys, on one NIC?
No.
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 But one NIC can have multiple application security group. Let me show it to you. What security group क्या होता है? बहुत easy है and you will understand it very easily. यहाँ पे कोई rule नहीं बनाना है आपको, कोई पॉलिसी नहीं बनानी है, ठीक है, कुछ भी नहीं करना है आपको. इट्स वेरी सिंपल. लेट मी गो टू द मशीन. Obviously we can create this separately or we can create it at the machine, but let's go to machine. I'll go to this machine and I'll open this machine, go to network setting. And here we have our network security groups which are being assigned to this. Here we can see network security group, and to this machine I want to assign one application security group. Where do you see, guys? Can anyone point quickly? We have less time. That's okay. Under
Just below
networking,
the local
yes, load
balancing.
balancing, application security group. So I am assigning this application security group to this NIC. Okay, I've already created one test application security group. So I'm assigning this to test application security group. Done. How to create an application security group? Go here, search for application security group, create one. Test application security group new. Region selected. Done. That's it. No rules, nothing. Got it? कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है इसमें. बस यहाँ पर आप एक बना रहे हो और यहाँ पर किसी मशीन पर उसको अप्लाई कर रहे हो. But why do we need it? I'll explain it. Is this clear, by the way? I can come here. See, स्निक पे एक
Yes.
application security group लगा है. I will add one more. Test application security group new. See, I have assigned two application security group. And I can assign it to some other NIC also. अगर same region में मेरे पास दूसरा कोई machine होगा उस पर भी मैं इसको assign कर सकता हूँ. Is this clear, guys? The scope and how to create it? उसमें कोई
Yes.
configuration
We
नहीं,
had,
कुछ नहीं.
Yes.
yeah, we did not mention anything in this
Yes, I'm
application
telling you,
security
there's no
group, right?
config. I'll come to
Hmm.
that. How to use it, we'll come to that. Are
Hmm.
you guys clear till here?
Oh,
There's no rule, nothing
okay.
in that. This is clear. Let me create one meaningful and then it might help you. Or maybe I'll create 2, 3. Web servers. This is one application security group I'm creating. Now, let me go to this one. Okay. I have one virtual network. I have subnets. Subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3. I have 50 machines in each subnet. Now the requirement is, you guys will be giving me answers, right? Subnet 1, subnet 2, and subnet 3. Okay. Now the requirement is all my machines in subnet 1 should be able to access internet. What will be your strategy of network security group? Rules क्या होगे और कहाँ पर apply करोगे आप? They should be able to access internet. That is the question I have.
On subnet level,
Hmm.
we'll assign NSG to subnet 1. So
Rules?
all machine can access.
कोई rule, custom rule add करोगे?
No, no custom rule.
Why not?
We can keep any.
Now, will you be adding some custom rule or not?
No, no.
Why
No need
not?
to create a custom rule
Why not?
because we are giving access to all machines, right?
But how are you giving access? If you're not creating the
We'll
custom
use
rule,
just an default rule or
default
the
rules. Yes, guys, I want
internet
you to
rule.
use
Yeah, yeah.
jargons. I want you to, when I'm grilling you,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm cross questioning you, I'm expecting jargons from you. I don't have to create any custom rule because there are 6 default rules, and one of them default rules is allowing internet. So we don't have to do anything. We don't have to create a custom rule. Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
The scenario, you want to give
Yeah.
access to everyone in subnet 1. Now in subnet 2, you want to access deny the internet to everyone. Outbound internet, deny. Where will you apply the NSG? What will be the rule?
सॉरी सोहेल भाई रिपीट कर सकते हो आपका क्वेश्चन?
सबनेट 2, सारे सर्वर्स को इंटरनेट का एक्सेस नहीं होना चाहिए।
कस्टम रूल डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा उसके लिए, और
हम्म
जिसकी प्रायोरिटी कम रखनी होगी।
इनबाउंड में करोगे, आउटबाउंड में
हम्म
करोगे?
आउटबाउंड में,
ओके।
आउटबाउंड में।
और उस एनएसजी को कहाँ अप्लाई करोगे? सारे सर्वर के
सबनेट
निक पे?
लेवल पे कर सकते
Subnet level.
यस।
Okay.
वही
व्हाट इफ आई से कि
सबनेट पे।
सारे सर्वर के निक पे करना है मुझको? इज इट टेक्निकली पॉसिबल? नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द सेंसिबल एटसेट्रा। इज इट टेक्निकली पॉसिबल कि आपने एक एनएसजी बना दिया, डोंट अप्लाई इट एट द सबनेट लेवल, आई विल गो अहेड एंड मेरे पास बहुत रिसोर्स बैठे हुए फ्री में, आई विल गेट गिव देम सम वर्क एंड असाइन दिस एनएसजी to nick level of every server. Is it possible?
Yes.
Yes, it
टेक्निकली
is
इट इज
possible.
पॉसिबल।
पॉसिबल.
It
Okay,
is
guys, only 30
possible.
seconds are left in this session. Let's close it and join immediately. In next session, I think it will take more 40 minutes, right? So if you guys are comfortable, then only we'll continue because we have to cover this plus the routing table. So let's quickly join. Same link without taking any break.